So can we give it up for Jody? Standing ovation. The stage is yours.
Can we give another round of applause to Daniel and his amazing hosting of tonight? Woo! All right, so put your hand up. Who here would love to own your voice of another level of confidence? Who here would love to own your voice of another level of courage? Interesting. So if you want to own your voice of another level of confidence and courage, guess what? You need to learn how to embrace and become more conscious about fear, your internal world. As Brené Brown explains, there is no courage without fear. Because owning your voice with confidence requires embracing vulnerability. True? Embracing the most darkest parts of yourself, the parts of yourself you're so afraid to be seen, right? And the fact is, if you do not bring conscious awareness to your fears, your anxieties, your addictions, your shadows, they will take the stage of your unconscious mind. They will create more of what you don't want. And I know how it feels to have anxiety and fear run the show. You see, I came from a background of racism and bullying. My social anxiety got so bad, I couldn't leave the house out of fear that people on the street would judge me. I was afraid to put my hand up in class and even use my voice in that setting. I went through depression, eating disorders, and I was very disconnected from myself. Anyone can relate to any of that? And how I overcame that was not just because I learned how to public speak, learn how to communicate with confidence on a practical level, but I learned how to be there with the deepest parts of myself. I learned how to embrace the fear and anxieties within me. So I'd love to invite you to close your eyes. Just close your eyes for a moment, or if you're not comfortable, close your eyes, just look at a place on the ground. And with your eyes closed, I'd love you to imagine a graveyard. Just imagine a graveyard for a moment. And with your eyes closed, as you imagine a graveyard, guess what? This is not just home to people who've passed away. It's home to books that could have been written, online courses that could have been created, families that could have been made, solutions that could have been brought to life. But these people took their gifts to the grave because they let fear and doubt and anxiety run the show and take the stage instead. You can open your eyes. I am on a mission to change that. I'm not only a public speaking coach, but I'm also an emotional fitness coach. I help leaders to own their voice of confidence on the practical level, on and off stage, whatever their stage is, but also on an emotional level, the masculine and the feminine, so they don't let their fear and anxieties take over and run the show. Because how I overcame that was the journey of the inwards. Right? I went from being a little girl who was afraid to put her hand up in class and walk down the street to I'm so grateful I was able to reach the world stage of public speaking twice. Out of 35,000 people, I reached the top 28. And then I built a multiple six-figure-a-year business helping leaders around the world to own their voice of confidence. And so there's not a lot of time today, but I want to invite you to think of fear more deeply by sharing with you 3 layers of fear. So you can write this down or you can imagine this. Imagine 3 layers of fear. One big circle, another circle within, and a core, right? What do you think is the external layer of fear? I actually just gave it away. It starts with E. The external. It is the fear that requires action, like the fear of public speaking, or the fear of networking, or the fear of asking someone out on a date, or the fear of getting on that sales call, the fear of posting on social media. It's the external fears. Then what do you think is the layer in the middle? Starts with I. Internal. You have the external fears and then the internal fears, the fear of ridicule, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of rejection. But then what do you think is the core of fear? If you have the external, you have the internal. What's the core? What is the main reason you might let fear, anxiety, and doubt take over and take the stage? What is the core? The fear that you can't handle it. Your external fears around owning your voice, your internal fears about what people might think about you, it all comes down to the core of the fear that you can't handle it. But guess what? As Brendon Burchard explains, right? Confidence is trusting in your ability to figure things out. So if you have the internal tools to know you can figure it out, to know that you can handle it, you will not take your gifts to the grave. You'll live them every single day. And I'm very excited. I only have a few spots left. that this weekend I'm running an embodied speaker training for 2 days in a luxe villa with me personally to teach you all the practical tools around owning your voice, both professionally and personally, and the feminine tools to not let fear, anxiety, and doubt get in the way. So let me end with this and come up afterwards and have a chat with me. Who here would love to own their voice with more confidence? Woo! Who would love to own their voice with more courage? Woo! You cannot own your voice in the next level of confidence and courage until you become more intimate with fear. Your voice matters, your dreams matter, and you matter. Do not take your gifts to the grave. Thank you all so much.
Love it. Well done.